Today we're at the Monument National for the Tisri Dunia Theater, which is presenting People Power. Directed by Nina Lee Aquino, it's a dramatic portrayal of the peaceful grassroots movement in the Philippines in 1986. Personal experiences are told from second-generation Philippines.
You get going so we can pass. Hey, lots of people here who need to get to their jobs, huh?
Mano, we're doing this for people like you.
Hey, I know people like me.
Don't you know what's going on in this country? Are you happy with how things are?
Well, I'll be happy when you get out of my way, huh?
Did you see what happened to Ninoy?
Oh, he's dead. Ah, go home.
So when you first read the manuscript of People Power, what struck you the most about it?
The manuscript is written by the people who performed it. It's a collective creation, and it's the second generation Filipino-Canadian youth. It's their recollection, their recounting of the memory of their parents' struggle in 1986 that resulted in toppling of the Marcos dictatorship. So, I mean, it's in some way intergenerational play where the young Filipino-Canadians retelling the story that they inherited from their parents but had not much knowledge of.
Being born here in Canada, my parents are both from the Philippines. With the whole People Power, I mean, I was just a kid when this was happening in 1986. And my recollection of People Power was my parents glued to the TV every night, wanting to know what was going on back home. And, you know, obviously as a kid, I was just so bothered by this because, like, what's going on? What's all this yellow? What's Laban need? What's Cory? Who's Marcos?
First, second generation, now third generation Filipino Canadians tend to be very disconnected from their community and, like Emily said, not have a very clear understanding of our history, why we're here, and I think it's one of the reasons why, I mean, in being Canadian, part of being Canadian and being a person of color is to also have to claim your space in this country, despite the fact that you may be born here as a person of color, as an other.
I think that's a very huge responsibility on artists of color because they are the first generation of artists of the political other, and they carry a very heavy load on their shoulders because what they are going to do in the name or through the arts is going to create conditions necessary for our children to feel very much at home here.
First, I just want to say thank you to the collective, like the other audience member. I found the play to be really powerful, very emotional, and I think for me, just coming as a Korean immigrant, there are these sort of, I think, waves of familiarity to some of the things, and part of it is this universal sort of ness, but I think also it's the relations of Asia and North America, US in particular, and what it's produced over the last, 50 years, 100 years, I guess.
So the revolution was really a defining event in the Philippine history and inspired other countries to demonstrate peacefully. What were the bigger challenges that you thought in producing the play in only an hour and 30 minutes?
Well, I think that the play actually is so much about the moment It's like in a capsule type of a situation that it represents the situation that happened immediately 1986, a little before that, and ending at that time. It does not go beyond that. It does not traces the history as to what has happened since that time. And of course, it was sort of a toppling of the dictatorship in a very peaceful way, in the sense that the soldiers, they refused to fire shots at the citizens. Did it inspire other countries and other people, other oppressed nations? I think that's an ongoing struggle. Of course, a good example always is helpful, but I like to see this in context of this struggle, and we'll have to analyze whether 20 years after that revolution all the promises have been met. The results are mixed. But the question is that what the play represents is the desire of the people to continue to work for a better change.
If you'd like to check out more upcoming shows, feel free to look at teresadunya.com. Thanks, and this has been Elsa for CUTV.